Welcome to Stories for Sleep, where science whispers like a lullaby, and nature becomes the soft blanket that covers your weary mind. Tonight, we will step into a strange but intimate world, the kingdom of fungi creatures that are neither plants nor animals, yet keep the secret rhythm of the Earth's life. When night falls, the world of fungi truly wakes. They connect tree roots like an ancient internet, decompose what is old to nourish what will come. In the damp, cool darkness, they quietly grow, breathe, glow, and send invisible messages beneath the soil. If you have ever felt tired, lost, or overwhelmed, let the stories of fungi guide you back to a gentler place where life moves slowly, without clamor, and always knows how to heal itself. Here, amid the forest's whispers, you will discover that even the smallest creatures possess the intelligence to make miracles. Lie down, close your eyes. Let us begin the journey. There are worlds that exist around us, but we have never truly seen. They make no sound, demand no attention, do not fight for the light. They grow in the dark, hide secrets in patient silence, and persist through changes humans could never imagine. One of those worlds, if you stoop to the ground and look close, is the kingdom of fungi. Fungi are not exactly plants. They are not animals either. On the map of life, where things are divided into large branches like plants, animals, bacteria, fungi carve out their own kingdom, quiet, enduring, but so profound that anyone who listens long enough will feel they are touching something ancient, something primal. Fungi breathe oxygen like we do, but they feed in the forest's way and live by the rhythm of the soil. They creep into rock layers, hide beneath leaf litter, weave into tree roots, and sometimes pop up like a small miracle of the night. If you have walked in a damp forest, when the ground beneath your feet is soft and the smell of humus drifts in the air, you might feel them not with your eyes, but with intuition. It is the sensation of walking on a world with its own pulse, where countless fungal threads exchange information, send signals, share nutrients, and keep silence perfectly so the forest runs smoothly like a breath. Fungi have existed on Earth for 1 billion years, earlier than the appearance of trees. When the first forests had not yet formed, when continents were barren slabs of rock, fungi were there, decomposing rock, feeding on indirect light from inorganic matter, then creating soil. They were the planet's first engineers, the silent workers preparing the ground for everything that would come. Without fungi, forests would never have existed. Without fungi, trees would not have stood tall. Without fungi, perhaps we could not live. But the most remarkable thing about fungi is not simply their greater age compared to trees, nor their astonishing regenerative abilities. The real wonder that makes fungi a quiet universe we easily forget is how they live in silence, yet influence everything. Fungi do not run. They do not shout. They do not communicate with sound or color. They speak by scent, by tiny electrical currents flowing through their threads, by chemical signals soft as breath. In their world, silence is not emptiness, it is a form of language. When a tree in the forest is attacked by pests, fungi know. They send signals to other trees to warn them. When the soil is poisoned, fungi know. They reroot, create new networks to deliver nutrients around obstacles. When roots weaken, fungi extend fine threads, like the fingers of the earth, to support them. People call it the wood wide web, the underground network that links the whole forest into one nervous system. An internet of nature that ran for hundreds of millions of years before humans wrote their first line of code. But to the forest, it is just normal breathing. For fungi, it is the essence of existence. And the beautiful thing is, fungi do not need to be seen to be important. They do not need glaring light. a central position, or applause. The greatness of fungi lies precisely in their ability to be below, be behind, be underfoot. They work quietly, but determine the entire future of life. There is a curious thing ecologists have found. Where soil contains lots of fungi, forests live longer, healthier, and more sustainably. As if fungi act as the silent heart of the ecosystem, not pounding loudly, not hurried, but steady and sufficient to sustain billions of lives. And when we view fungi like this, we see ourselves in them. Humans sometimes need not to speak, not to hurry, not to stand out to live true to themselves. Quiet moments, calm evenings, deep sleep. These are also ways we nourish ourselves, like fungi nourish the forest. But fungi are not just the architects of soil, they are also the artists of darkness. Some fungi glow with a pale bluish phosphorescence, like tiny stars trapped in the night forest. That light doesn't blaze, it doesn't demand attention. It simply smolders like a tear of the night sliding through the canopy. People think they glow to attract insects that will carry spores far. But looking at that light, it's hard to think it's merely a biological function. It feels like a miracle, a reminder that even in the deepest dark, life still knows how to kindle a small halo to continue. And when we peer deeper into the fine threads, the mycelium, we realize they are strikingly similar to the human nervous network. Millions of tiny branches radiate, connect, share, form a web. At large scale, mycelium resembles an image of the brain. At a larger scale still, like a map of the universe. As if life, from smallest to largest, favors the same patterns, spreading, connecting, leaning on each other to survive. Some call fungi the secret heart of the planet. Others call them the roots of the world. Some even believe fungi are among the smartest organisms, not because they think, but because they know how to live. Live slowly, live durably, live immersed in nature rather than fighting it. And if we look back at our own day, perhaps we need that too. A slower way of living, a deeper breath, a pocket of silence to find ourselves. That is also why we begin this video, not just to tell stories about fungi, but to invite you into another rhythm, the rhythm of the forest, of the soil, of creatures that never rush, but are always present. Imagine sitting in the forest, a gentle breeze stirring, the earth soft beneath your feet, and somewhere in the leaf litter countless fungal threads weaving the network of the world. No sound, no chaos, only the slow breath of nature and the peaceful heartbeat of your own body. Tonight, as sleep comes, you may sense it. Life does not only exist in brilliant light, but also in the deep dark, and sometimes the most healing things come from the quietest creatures. Fungi exist quietly, but their stories echo like legends from life's earliest times. And one of the strangest stories begins with their very nature. What made fungi not stand with plants, not quite like bacteria, yet closer to us than we imagine. When you see a white mushroom pop up after rain, it's hard to believe it is more like you than like a tree. But it's true. And not just true, but a truth full of poetry. Like humans, fungi breathe oxygen and exhale CO2. Like animals, fungi do not photosynthesize. They do not drink light. They do not live by the sun, but seek energy by eating silently, breaking down organic matter in the soil, turning it into nourishment and absorbing it. But what astonishes science is their cellular structure. Fungi do not build cell walls from cellulose like plants, but from chitin, the same material that makes shrimp shells, the hard armor of insects, and many invertebrates. A forest may look like a world of trees, but beneath the soil, the fungal realm is actually a quiet menagerie, a menagerie of creatures distantly related to us quiet kin that split from our evolutionary line before animals crawled from the sea. When scientists read the fungal genome, they discovered something unexpected. Fungi and animals share a more recent common ancestor than plants and animals. And even, some fungal genes react to the environment in ways identical to ours. Fungi know how to find their way. They avoid toxins. They move toward nutrient sources. They expand their network by the most optimal strategies. No brain, no heart, no muscles, yet they have the wisdom of the earth, the harmony of time, and the collective intelligence of billions of threads. And when we see fungi as ancient kin, feelings of separation soften. If trees are the planet's lungs, then fungi are the hidden circulatory system carrying nutrients, information, signals, and sometimes the forest's memories. Yes, memories. The soil remembers, and fungi are the means by which the soil remembers. A burned forest, when it regrows, might still be threaded by the old fungal network, causing new trees to grow according to patterns of past memory. Science calls this mycelial inheritance, inheritance of the network. Nature calls it memory, and humans, when they listen, call it a kind of unspoken intelligence. Imagine, before forests, before trees, before the green carpet we call Earth, everywhere was rock. And fungi, or fungal-like ancestors, were the first organisms to know how to turn rock into soil. They ate minerals, secreted enzymes, dissolved rock, then formed the first thin soil layer on the planet. Without fungi, there would be no soil. Without soil, there would be no trees. Without trees, there would be no oxygen, as we have today. And without oxygen, perhaps there would never be humans. Fungi are like the first workers entering an empty house, sweeping, laying bricks, clearing the way for life to come. There are mycelial networks so large they're hard to imagine. One Armillaria ostoya individual in Oregon spans 10 square kilometers larger than any animal that has ever lived. It's like a living continent, flowing into tree roots, nourishing each tree stem in the forest, like a mother embracing millions of children with invisible arms. Fungal threads are so thin, the human eye cannot see them, yet together they form a network more intricate than any supercomputer humans have made. People once thought only animals used electrical signals, but fungi organisms, without nerves, generate electrical pulses, much like a simple nervous system. When danger comes, they send electrical warnings. When food is present, they send spreading signals. When they encounter a tree, they shake hands with steady rhythms. Scientist Merlin Sheldrake described them as brains spread through the soil, not boxed, not centralized, but radiating like a thought across the forest. Spores of many fungi are so tiny, they drift through the air like dust of light. A mushroom can release billions of spores a day, lighter than mist, more persistent than dust, patient enough to wait years for suitable conditions. Some spores have been found in the stratosphere. Some spores cross oceans. Some lie dormant in the soil for 100 years. Each spore is like a small dream of life, suspended, waiting for a very small chance to become real. Some fungi take existence to an entirely different level. Ophiocordyceps fungi do not merely parasitize ants. They control them, truly. They make ants leave the nest, climb high, bite into a leaf as a ritual, then die in silence as fungal threads emerge through their heads, releasing spores onto the forest below. Not out of cruelty, but to live according to nature's logic. That is when we understand. Nature is not always gentle, but even that ferocity carries order, a cycle of survival that creates the strange beauty of life. When stories about origins, genetics, and fungi's earliest wonders close, we begin to realize what we are looking at is not just a group of organisms, but a philosophy of life. A philosophy that silence is not weakness, hiddenness is not disappearance, softness is not lack of strength. In the world of fungi, the strongest thing is often what we do not see. The most important thing lies deep beneath the soil, and the most healing often comes from things that never make noise. A space where darkness is thicker, not because of lack of light, but because the light waits to be seen. That is when we step into the world of bioluminescent fungi, the ancient lanterns of the earth. Imagine standing in a forest at night. No moon, nor lamps, only velvet darkness draped over every treetop, every rotten log, every breath of wind through the leaves. And then, beneath your feet, a faint greenish glow appears. Then a second streak, then a third. Not fireflies, not moonlight leaking through leaves, but fungi creatures that look ordinary by day, yet when darkness falls become tiny stars on the ground. More than 70 species of fungi glow this way. Each species a different shade, yet most choose pale green, a hue just enough to guide insects, but not to break the night's stillness. That light is not harsh. It does not flicker. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, like the forest's breath, a life wanting to be seen, but never forcing itself. Curiously, bioluminescent fungi do not need eyes to see light, nor brains to control it, nor sunlight to store energy like plants. They glow by a mechanism nearly identical to fireflies. Luciferin plus Oxygen plus Enzyme gleich Light. A very small, very slow, very steady reaction, like the deep sleep heartbeat of the forest. But science finds each species has its own light chemistry, like each species has its own voice, a timbre not heard by ears but perceived by the eyes. When we look at that light, we feel as if we are not standing in a forest on earth, but in the memory of a forest, where everything is told by the gentle light of memory. There are many hypotheses, but none are certain. And that uncertainty makes everything more beautiful. One hypothesis says fungi glow to attract insects to carry spores far away, like a small city's light for insects, an underground airport in the night forest. Another suggests the light deters animals from eating them, since glowing species often contain mild toxins. But there is a quieter, kinder hypothesis. The light is a way fungi regulate chemical processes inside themselves, as if the light is not sent for someone to see, but to sustain life within the fungus. It is light to live by, not to perform for. A light that, if humans did not exist, the forest would still see, the soil would still recognize, and time would still remember. When scientists study glowing fungi, they must work in the dark. Some recount that in the Amazon rainforest, the glow was bright enough that they could find paths by it alone. But it was not brilliant. It was like a thin luminescent mist, a light you do not see immediately. You must stand still, breathe slowly, let your eyes adjust to the dark, and then, gently, the forest seems to appear in its own way. That is when science feels small, because in that moment, the light is not from a laboratory, but from a living creature that has existed for hundreds of millions of years, a being that glowed before humans knew fire. If you sit beside a cluster of Neonathoponus gardneri, one of the brightest bioluminescent fungi in the world, you will see the light like a little harbor for lost souls in the forest. It is soft, unwavering, not dancing. It spreads evenly, like the earth's whisper. In many ancient cultures, fungal light was tied to divinity, to ancestral spirits, to doors, to the other world. Ancient Greeks believed glowing fungi signified terra lucida, a land of mysterious life within the forest. The Japanese called them yake-dake specks of light that made the forest seem alive, dreaming. And people today, even living amid artificial lights, cannot deny that pale green light has something that quiets the soul, as if an old memory is waking within us. The most beautiful thing about bioluminescent fungi is they only shine when it's dark, not to stand out, but because that light is born from the dark, as if the night forest is saying, even in the blackest place, there are beings that can create their own light. That makes fungi an emblem of life. Great light does not always need to rise from the sun. Sometimes it is born from the most unassuming places. Fungi teach us that light needn't be brilliant to matter. A faint but persistent light is still enough to lead the way, enough to exist, enough to say life never truly vanishes in the dark. If tiny beings like fungi can create light to write their stories in the dark, what else is nature hiding? What other capacities do fungi have beyond our imagination? Species that produce pharmaceuticals, species that regenerate tissue, species that transform matter, and even species that can influence the human mind, as if they enter our dreams and gently alter them. This is where the next chapter begins, where fungi not only glow in the dark, but illuminate the world within humans. What you see is only the tip of the iceberg. The true kingdom of fungi does not lie on the surface, but in the damp darkness where roots sleep. Mycelium, the underground network of fungi, as wide as cities, even nations. We often think fungi are those mushrooms that pop up above ground, round, caps spread, like tiny umbrellas in the forest. But those are only the fruiting bodies, a temporary structure made to disperse spores. The real body of fungi lies entirely underground. It is a network of silk-like threads woven into an intricate structure called mycelium. Each mycelial thread is so small, you could lay hundreds on the head of a needle, yet strong enough to penetrate soil, rotten wood, even thick bark. They never stop expanding, jumping from one soil particle to another, radiating in all directions, like an intelligence spread by absolute patience. There are mycelial networks just a few meters across, but there are colossal networks that bewilder science. In Oregon, USA, one individual has spread over 9.6 square kilometers, an area the size of a small town, a single organism, a single body, a single network. Yet people around it aren't aware that beneath their feet, under parks, houses, roads, there is a living organism, slow, persistent, silent but eternal. A network weighing hundreds of tons, living for thousands of years. An organism that, if it could speak, might tell the story of the entire forest from a time before humans had language. This existence makes us realize Earth is not dead ground. It is an entity that breathes, thinks, connects, and fungi are its nerve fibers. If trees are the lungs of the planet, mycelium is the circulatory system. Fungal threads move water from wet places to dry. They pump nutrients from rotten wood to young roots. They send glucose from mature trees to sick ones. They decompose everything: wood, leaf litter, animal carcasses, even rock. All occurs in absolute stillness. No machine noises, no hum, only darkness and patience. What we call soil is in fact a living body, a microscopic labyrinth where fungi work tirelessly, hour by hour, minute by minute, to sustain the forest. If the forest is a big city, then mycelium is pipelines, electricity, water, internet, all at once. Ecologists call mycelium the wood wide web, the forest's global network. Trees use this network to send warnings. For example, Pests are attacking, share nutrients, nurse seedlings in shade, save sick trees with minerals and sugars, transmit signals about temperature, light, even the seasons. Not only that, trees pay fungi with sugars made from photosynthesis. Fungi return minerals, nitrogen, phosphorus, and countless compounds roots cannot extract themselves. A fair exchange network. No one issues orders, no control center, no one must speak. Yet it runs perfectly, like a city organized by invisible intelligence. This makes us see a forest is not just a collection of trees, but a community, a many-part body of life. Perhaps the most miraculous thing about fungi is their ability to decompose almost anything on the planet. Wood? Of course. Animal carcasses? No problem. Leaves, branches, rotting soil, all are food. But fungi can also break down rock, absorb heavy metals, degrade petroleum, digest plastic. Some fungal species can even consume radioactive material and thrive in areas devastated by radiation, like Chernobyl. That makes mycelium like Earth's reclamation machinery. Everything begins with it, ends with it, and is reborn by it. In a sense, fungi are the cycle of all cycles. Modern science has discovered that mycelium retains traces of rainfall amounts, climate changes, seasonal cycles, drought years, pest outbreaks, the death of individual trees, the birth of seedlings, as if the soil not only lives but remembers. Some biologists call mycelium the forest's distributed brain. It has no neurons, no gray matter, no consciousness in the human sense, but it has feedback, computation, optimal decision-making, pattern memory, behavioral change, like intelligence spread throughout a body, not localized in one organ. The forest is not silent. The forest thinks in fungi's language. If the human brain is fast as lightning, mycelium is slow as earth. But sometimes, slowness is a form of wisdom. Mycelium does not make mistakes. It does not react hastily. It does not waste energy. It follows the most optimal route, naturally, unconsciously, perfectly. Mathematical models simulating mycelium show it chooses efficient paths, just like modern optimization algorithms. Though it does not compute, it has no brain. Nature, through hundreds of millions of years, found another way to think, thinking by diffusion, thinking by networks, thinking by listening to its own organization. The glowing fungal lights of the previous chapter now seem only surface signals. Here, in the deep darkness of soil, the story unfolds like a meditative symphony. Fungi are not just living organisms. They are keepers of memory, carriers of life, world regenerators. And from that network, humans begin to discover other abilities. Fungi heal. Fungi regenerate tissue. Fungi help humans sleep, reduce anxiety, soothe the mind, transform consciousness, clean the planet's toxins. The story seems poised to open a new door, where fungi are no longer just an ecological phenomenon, but quiet healers of the planet. In the darkness where no one sees, the fungal kingdom quietly keeps life for the forest. And in that same darkness, they hold keys humanity has only begun to understand. And so, the journey to the next chapter begins where fungi appear not only as the soil's network, but as the healing network of life itself. If the mycelial network is the forest's nervous system, you may want to know this. The largest organism on Earth, not a tree, not a whale, but a fungal individual. That sentence is light as wind but heavy as history, pulling the listener's mind from micro to macro, from thin mycelial threads to a colossal entity embracing a whole forest. In Malheur National Forest, Oregon, there is an organism most passers-by do not know about. They only see trees, wind, falling leaves. But beneath their feet, cloaking the ground in silence, is a single fungal individual, Armillaria ostoyi, spreading over 4 square miles, about 10 square kilometers. Not a forest of fungi, but one individual, connected by an extensive mycelial system, wider than a small town, a colossal body, with no eyes, no heart, making no sound, but living for thousands of years, slow, patient, and more persistent than any large creature that has ever existed on this planet. The blue whale, the ocean's largest creature, weighs about 150 tons, but the fungal individual in Oregon can weigh over 400 tons, perhaps much more. Much of that weight lies in the mycelial network underground threads, as fine as silk, yet woven into a gigantic body, spreading through the forest like veins across the sea floor. It is strange to think that we always associate gigantic with something rising above ground, something with bones or a clear shape, with large eyes and a massive body. But the largest organism on Earth chose the opposite path. It hides, it lies deep, it avoids all eyes. It does not need to be seen to exist, a humility we sometimes humans forget in our noisy lives. Unlike animals that live fast, grow fast, then die fast, the Armillaria individual grows so slowly, it is almost immeasurable. In a year, it may expand a few centimeters. In 7 years, a few meters. In hundreds of years, several km squared. Then, in thousands of years, a forest. It is the perfect embodiment of the saying, slow does not mean weak. It lives long enough to witness. Seedlings sprout, forests burn and regenerate, rivers change course, soil changes color, humans arrive and depart, seasons come and go. While we live in haste like flashes of light, Armillaria exists like the night wide, deep, ancient. If we could see through the soil, we would observe billions of mycelial threads intertwined like the forest's blood vessels, the Earth's nerves, the planet's notebooks. They do not move fast. They make no sound, but they remember and record everything they touch. Which tree once fell here? Which year had little rain? Which root competed for nutrients? Which place was struck by lightning? Which place once had storms? All are etched into that vast subterranean network. This silent giant is not only the largest organism, but also a time record of the forest, a living form of memory. The fungal realm rarely lives alone. They rely on the forest, and the forest relies on them. Trees supply sugars, fungi supply minerals. The forest thrives because of a silent agreement that has lasted millions of years. And the Armillaria, though enormous, is not a ruler. It is an ancient steward of the ecosystem. When a tree weakens, Armillaria decomposes it to regenerate the soil. When new forest sprouts, mycelium supplies nutrients. When soil is dry or cold, it retains water and breaks down matter to keep the ecosystem balanced. It lives for the forest, and the forest lives because of it. A marvelous, gentle symbiosis that needs no words. Imagine walking in an Oregon forest. Beneath each step isn't just soil, but an organism stretching for miles, silently observing you with billions of threads. That feeling is not frightening. It is not monstrous. It is like an ancient shoulder you can lean on. Not every large creature must roar. Some become large simply by being there, embracing life, keeping everything functioning. A soft presence, light, yet grand. Armillaria's persistence raises questions. Why does it live? Why does it grow? Why does it not stop? But fungi do not live in the human sense. They have no ambitions. They make no plans. They simply do what life always does: spread, connect, transform, and persist. And perhaps that is also why listeners feel peace, because the greatest life on this planet is not hurried, not imposing, not seeking recognition. It simply is, complete and whole. You see, greatness sometimes is not measured by height or strength, but by the ability to support a whole unseen world. If an organism can embrace a whole forest for thousands of years, if it can connect, heal, regenerate, and preserve life, then perhaps fungi are not only creatures of the earth, but also a philosophy of life, a philosophy of silence, a philosophy of endurance, a philosophy of gentle healing like the wind through a night forest. If the fungal kingdom teaches us that, to be great, you don't need to be tall, you only need to be deep enough, patient enough, and silent enough. Hezi, you know, not only do they spread and live long, fungi also know how to talk, and their language is electricity. Mycelium, the silk-like fungal threads, are not only conduits of water and nutrients. They send electrical pulses, tiny, steady electrical surges, passing through hyphae, like light running down nerve fibers. Scientists have measured that these pulses speed up when fungi encounter food, slow down when the environment is safe, and erupt into strong rhythmic chains when roots are attacked or the forest faces drought. Those electrical rhythms are not random. They have repeating patterns, emphasis signals, pauses, like sentences with commas, periods, and intonation. Some research suggests fungi can produce more than 50 types of signals, a kind of primitive vocabulary the forest has used to converse with itself for millions of years. Imagine placing your hand on the damp ground. Beneath it are the Earth's very slow thoughts. While human neurons fire like lightning down wires, fungal signals move as slowly as the forest's maturation. Not rushed, not chaotic, but steady, deep, and patient. And that slow pace brings extraordinary harmony. The forest does not need to react in the moment. It responds by season, by year, by century. In the view of science, forest and mycelium do not think, but in the eyes of poetry, of stillness, they perceive, remember, respond, and coordinate. It's not conscious intelligence. It is distributed intelligence, like ripples on a pond. When an insect chews a leaf, when a root is damaged, or when the soil dries, mycelium immediately sends faster, stronger electrical pulses. Nearby trees receive the signal through roots, then trigger defense mechanisms, producing toxins in leaves, increasing bitterness to deter being eaten, or sending signals up the crown to capture more light. A kind of forest bulletin, without words, without sound, only fine electrical beats. And the most beautiful thing is, fungi do this not for selfish gain. They do not benefit by saving a tree, but the forest is strong only when roots are strong, and mycelium persists only when the forest persists. Symbiosis, harmony, no domination. If human neurons are like lightning, fungal electrical signals are like rain falling on a midnight eve, even light, rhythmic, and perhaps lulling the listener to sleep. Fungi have no deadlines, no power races. Every signal is sent like a breath inhale to receive information, exhale to transmit. That is why, in sleep videos, fungal stories are told slowly to match their own transmission rhythm. Not every conversation needs words. Sometimes only a rhythm, like how the forest talks to itself. Fungal electrical pulses can increase when they are fed, they are watered, light filters through the soil, they sense the presence of roots, or when they hear the vibrations of rain. These changes, in the forest's language, are fungi's happiness. And when soil dries, roots die, or forests are cut, the electric rhythm becomes fragmented, weak, and sometimes stops altogether. A dialogue full of feeling, yet no sound at all. Studies show mycelium has short-term memory. If you stimulate an area electrically, it responds more strongly the next time. It remembers, it leaves marks, it learns. No brain, no neurons. A philosophy of Earth. Intelligence is not only in the head, it can lie in how the world responds. Forest burns, mycelium rebuilds soil. Trees fall, mycelium decomposes them, returns nutrients to others. Roots sick, mycelium sends warnings and activates defenses. Where fungi exist, there is regeneration. Where mycelium exists, there is connection. Where electrical signals exist, there is rhythm. If a forest can heal through those tiny electrical pulses, perhaps humans also need slow rhythms to heal. The rhythm of breath, the rhythm of the heart, the rhythm of settling. Fungi communicate not quickly, but sufficiently to keep the forest alive. Humans needn't hurry, only be steady. When you know that beneath every step mycelium is talking, you will feel the forest is no longer silent, but whispering, transmitting, living a quiet life larger than any imagination. Fungi decompose everything. Fungi, regenerate forests. Fungi, heal land. Fungi produce medicine. Fungi change the planet. Even if the world collapses, fungi remain, silent and persistent. In experiments on the International Space Station, ISS, some fungal species not only survived, but continued to grow when exposed to conditions of complete vacuum, space radiation, hundreds of times stronger than on Earth, extreme temperature fluctuations, no air, no water. In a place where a human heart would stop beating in seconds, fungi still sprout. An organism with no lungs, no heart, no eyes, yet holding a secret humanity, cannot replicate. Those tiny cells contract, reduce their life rhythm almost to a halt. Then when returned to Earth, they open up, as if they never left the forest. After the Chernobyl disaster, scientists discovered something almost surreal. In the destroyed reactors, fungi not only survived, but some species thrived. They used melanin, a pigment similar to human skin, to absorb gamma radiation and convert it into energy to grow, a kind of reverse photosynthesis, not based on light, but on humanity's most dangerous darkness. Even where humans call it a dead zone, something still grows, gently like a breath. Fungi do not flee radiation. They eat it, transform it, turn a patch of hell into a home. Some species withstand radiation levels high enough to kill animals, damage DNA in most living threads, destroy human cells in minutes. Yet fungi only shiver, then repair DNA, then continue to grow. This mechanism relies on powerful enzyme systems, fast and efficient DNA repair, and a cellular structure flexible, as if designed to survive the apocalypse. Under a microscope, fungal DNA weaves, like automatic stitching, self-healing, self-mending, self-repairing, never despairing, never retreating. While humanity struggles with plastic waste, some fungi need only weeks to degrade polyurethane, eat hydrocarbons in oil spills, and turn them into soil, water, and CO2. No pomp, no noise, no machinery, just a soft, damp, tiny organism that can do what entire industries have not achieved. Fungi do not blame humanity. They simply clean, a sentence both slightly sad and tender, like nature's understanding of our mistakes. In young mountain regions, where soil is scarce and trees barely grow, fungi are the pioneers. They secrete enzymes that strip mineral layers from rock, release ions, and gradually form soil. Soil, something we think natural and obvious, is created by fungi over millions of years, layer by layer, like a slow needle embedding into rock. If water is life's liquid, fungi are the silent hands kneading Earth's surface. When a forest burns, when all seedlings, old branches, dry leaves turn to ash, when everything above ground seems dead, fungi rise first. The fire's high temperatures trigger dormant spores, open doors for fire-adapted fungi, and create mineral-rich environments for them to thrive. They decompose. Charred trunks, burned roots, compacted soil, then return to the ground, a nutrient mat for seedlings. In the darkness of ash, fungi are the first revival, the seed of hope, the rhythm of the forest's new start. There is life that does not fear death, because their mission is regeneration. End 1. Strangely, fungi do not try to survive. They simply are. Not fighting, not resisting with explosive force, not using violent power. They are patient, slow, but more enduring than destruction. That is fungi's philosophy. Everything can be transformed. Plastic soil, oil water, rotten wood, new forest, radiation energy, rock, fertile soil, wildfire, a second life. If human persistence is standing firm, fungi's persistence is dissolving and becoming something better. When you know there are organisms that can survive in space, eat plastic, break down rock, and revive forests after fire, you will see that fungi are not just organisms. They are the intelligence of endurance, the living memory of the earth. Fungi heal humans. Fungi as medicine. Fungi as the foundation of new life. Fungi as a map for the future. Because fungi, like the earth itself, do not have a single face. They are healers, but also destroyers. They are light in the night forest, but also the darkness that makes creatures shiver. There is no life entirely benevolent, and no darkness entirely malicious. Fungi exist between where nature keeps its neutral truth. In European forests, when morning mist falls and mushrooms sprout in small clusters amid leaf litter, one of the planet's most dangerous species might be standing there calm, soft, looking innocent. Amanita phalloides, or deathcap, does not roar, emit a poisonous smell, or display warning colors. It simply stands still. A small piece is enough to destroy the human liver. But the most terrifying thing is how it works, quietly breaking cells, preventing the body from making proteins, causing the liver to disintegrate like sand in the wind, and bringing death after a few days. Not intense pain, but a quiet annihilation like fungi's nature, patient, gentle, but uncompromising. But strangely, the deathcap does not want to kill humans. It is only a defensive organism, with the single purpose of survival. Human death is merely an accidental coincidence. Like an old forest breathing, like fire burning, like a volcano erupting, fungi have no malice, only instinct. There are fungi that not only live, but rewrite the behavior of other organisms. Ophiocordyceps, the most famous fungal genus in the world, performs something almost surreal. It invades an ant's body, threads into its nervous system, alters behavior, makes it climb upward, latch onto leaves, and wait to die. When the ant is exactly where the fungus wants, the fruiting body grows from its head, releasing millions of spores raining down, and the cycle begins again. Not evil, not cruelty, merely an evolutionary survival strategy honed over millions of years. In rainforests, occasionally people find leaves with hanging ants, hanged. Each is a sad chapter in fungi's evolutionary book. Where the forest's darkness touches the light, life and death intertwine like two roots braided together. For decades, scientists puzzled over the massive disappearance of frogs, toads, salamanders in forests and streams worldwide. Only when they examined beneath their skin did they discover the culprit, Batrachochytrium dendrobatidis, the chytrid fungus, a tiny organism visible only under a microscope, yet it wiped out over 100 amphibian species. It does not attack by venom. It does not invade the brain. It does not eat. It simply adheres to skin. But because amphibians breathe, drink, and exchange ions through skin, the fungus disrupts their electrolyte balance. The heart stops, and death arrives quietly like a cold sleep. No sound, no warning, only oppressive silence sweeping through an ecosystem. But as fire can warm or destroy, fungi too exist as a gentle paradox. They are not enemies, only part of the ancient balance. In a forest where one frog species vanishes, there are ants decomposed by fungi to nourish seedlings. Where deathcap can kill a large creature, other medicinal fungi save millions. Fungi do not side with light or darkness. They simply belong to life. Life always has two faces: nurture and destroy, become and decay, resurrect and end. Fungi do what they were born to do, no more, no less. While humans assign moral meanings to everything, good, bad, right, wrong, to fungi, everything is merely natural flow. Eat to exist, decompose to regenerate, spread to avoid extinction, adapt to avoid being swallowed. They do not judge. They do not choose who deserves to live. They simply perform evolution's role quietly, precisely, and entirely without emotion. But this lack of emotion makes nature beautiful because it is absolutely honest. To understand fungi, we must look at both faces, the one that terrifies us and the one that has fed the planet for billions of years. Because right after the darkest stories, the fungal kingdom reveals another: healing. When nature wants to heal the world, sometimes it does not use wings, leaves, or light, but threads as thin as silk. Before antibiotics, humans lived in a fragile world. A scratch could kill. A mild fever could end a life. Then, gently, as a gift from the ground brought up, penicillium ushered in a medical revolution. Not noisy, not ostentatious. Simply doing what it always did, defend by killing bacteria. But when humans discovered it, it changed human history. Antibiotics. Penicillin saved hundreds of millions of lives, opening a new era, an era where disease was not absolute destiny. There are lifesavers of humanity who wear no cloaks, do not stand on high pedestals, but are tiny fungal threads, blooming in glass boxes. From cold forests of Japan to the Siberian plateau, many fungi have been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years. Reishi, turkey tail, shiitake, maitake. Today, science confirms what ancestors knew. Many fungi contain immune-boosting beta-glucans, reduce inflammation, promote NK cells that kill cancer cells, and slow angiogenesis that feeds tumors. Turkey tail even underpins a cancer-supportive medicine in Japan. The forest's air smells of healing. Fungi are the soil's quiet voice, reminding us that not all power comes from light, sometimes from warm, damp, dark, silent things. A curious fact: fungi are the only non-animal organisms capable of producing vitamin D when exposed to light. They produce vitamin D too, like human skin produces D3 in sunlight. A mushroom growing under the canopy, receiving a few rays, can become a source of vitamin richer than salmon. as if they store the sun inside themselves, carrying light into the darkest litter layer. Even those born in deepest darkness know how to keep light within them. Fungi are not only healers, they are culinary artists. Some fungi taste like fried chicken of the woods, like lobster mushroom, smell like chocolate, or hint of cinnamon, coconut, or coffee. Truffle, the diamond of gastronomy, emits aromas so alluring animals cannot resist, and sometimes humans pay thousands of dollars for a few grams. Fungi are not just food. They are the forest's taste memory, the warmth of the soil, nature's way of saying, we also weave joy. Since ancient times, Scandinavians, Celts, and many cultures used fungi to dye colors. Vivid yellow, deep blue, red-brown, lavender, and pure black. Fabrics dyed by fungi seem to carry the forest's blessing. Each color carries the story of soil, rain, ages of trees. Artisans still believe fungal dyes have a soul because their hues change with season, humidity, the forest's mood. Fungi become painters, with palettes mixed from soil and moonlight. A quiet but profound truth. Without fungi, perhaps human civilization would not exist. Yeast helped ancient people make bread rise, ferment wine, brew beer, create blue cheeses, make soy sauce, fish sauce, vinegars. From ancient Egypt to European monasteries, yeast has been humanity's companion, a small organism that created flavors tied to human memory. In every warm meal, in fragrant bread, in warming wine, fungi are present, a loyal friend behind the kitchen door. Fungi do not only belong to ancient forests, they can build tomorrow's world. Mycelium, when cultivated properly, can be transformed into materials, light as sponge, durable like leather, non-flammable, non-toxic, biodegradable in soil, and renewable. From that, humans create building materials, mushroom bricks, soundproofing, biodegradable packaging, vegan leather, Milo, furniture like chairs, tables, lamps. Buildings made from fungi have been constructed in the US. Mushroom leather showcased in Paris. Many large companies are replacing plastics with fungal materials. Nature is never outdated. It only waits for humans to relearn listening. Medicine, food, materials, colors, scents, softness, and even the dark, we find fungi present in almost every part of life. Fungi are decomposers that help soil regenerate. Fungi are connectors that help roots communicate. Fungi nourish humans' existence. Fungi are constructors of the future. Fungi are destroyers when balance is broken. And fungi are prototypes of life's persistence on this planet. The fungal world resembles a symphony of regeneration. When everything dies, they turn it into new life. Fungi teach us that an ending is not an end, only another kind of beginning. Through these stories, we realize fungi do not merely exist. They build, heal, nourish, and create. Beneath every footstep is a world larger than imagination, an ecosystem operating in silence, yet supporting all life on the planet. We call that place soil, but to fungi, it is their own universe, yet only a few centimeters below, a living network entwined, vibrating, and constantly conversing. Fungi do not need light to grow. They do not need wind, sky, or birds. They need time, moisture, and nutrients from death. They eat fallen leaves, rotten wood, insect corpses, even things forgotten for centuries. As if fungi whisper, "Let what has passed become the foundation for what will come." Now, the narrator slows, like a long breath settling on the ground. Begin the journey into the ecosystem of darkness. Not forests, not oceans, The reservoir holding the most carbon on this planet is soil. And the thing that locks carbon in soil, so it does not fly into the atmosphere and warm the planet, is not the trees, but fungi. Mycelial threads wrap carbon molecules, locking them for decades, even centuries. Such thin threads, spiderweb thin, invisible by handful, are strong enough to influence climate. Like the Earth's night watchman, invisible, persistent, never acknowledged, but quietly keeping the world's balance. While we sleep, fungi are working, holding carbon bit by bit, so the planet does not overheat. The light of the story does not come from the sun, but from the dark. Soil is not just soil. It is a storage of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, iron, and hundreds of trace elements necessary for life. Without fungi, rain would wash all these away to the rivers. Forests would weaken. Trees would become small and sparse. Soil would turn to sand. But fungi act like tiny drawers, holding each nutrient within their web. They temporarily lock nutrients, only releasing them when roots knock with chemical signals. The subterranean world is like an ancient bank, with fungi as librarians, keeping everything from leaking away. We say trees feed the forest, but the forest only exists because fungi know how to keep what's needed. In the dark, fungi are the soil's memory. They remember everything that passes, and they keep it for the right time. A little-known fact: bacteria do not always know how to move through soil. They need roads, and fungi build those highways. Mycelial threads are endless. On their surfaces, bacteria cling and ride like drivers on a highway. Thanks to that, beneficial bacteria find roots to support. Decomposition spreads faster, ecosystems run smoothly, and toxins are processed more effectively. Mycelium is the soil's blood vessels, always transporting, always expanding, always guiding. No other organism does this, only fungi. Beneath us are roads no one sees, but all life travels. When mycelium weaves through soil, it creates tiny cavities like rooms. Inside, bacteria live in neighborhoods. Protozoa form layers. Tiny insects raise generations. Wandering yeasts are village bakers. Nematodes slither like tiny snakes in narrow alleys. Each chamber contains its own air, its own moisture, its own microbiome, and its own life rhythm. The whole underground world is like a miniature New York, flat, soft, oscillating with rain, where every disturbance is coordinated by fungi. If you stand still in the forest and imagine beneath you are millions of tiny rooms, billions of creatures living in secret order, you feel like a giant walking on a miniature civilization. But fungi are not afraid of us. They existed long before humans and will continue long after we vanish. In the deepest darkness, life moves without sound. Mycelium spreads centimeter by centimeter each day. They sense a fallen leaf, a root needing water, the start of rot, where it's too dry, where heavy metals need locking. No eyes, no heart, no brain. Yet they respond to the world like an ancient form of intelligence, and thus, soil never sleeps. Even when the sky goes black, wind stills, and everything above ground falls silent, beneath our feet, an ecosystem keeps breathing, gently, deeply, steadily, like the heart of the earth. Fungi do not merely live in darkness. They make darkness fertile. They create the foundation of life, holding what must be held and releasing what must be let go. But that is not the deepest story. There is another aspect of fungi, where they connect not only soil with forest, but soil with the human mind. Fungi do not only live underground, they live in history, in imagination, in rituals, and in humanity's deepest fears. A bridge between matter and spirit, between humans and nature, between the seen and the unnameable. In many ancient caves, researchers find fungal shapes carved or painted alongside dancing humans, herds of animals, circular symbols, and repeating geometric motifs like mystical patterns. What amazes researchers is not one culture, but many ancient cultures across Earth painted fungi from ancient Sahara, Siberia, Mexico to Western Europe. It's as if humans, in disparate places, saw something in fungi beyond mere beauty. Perhaps it was nourishment. Perhaps it was the wonder of growth appearing, disappearing, reappearing. Perhaps it was the profound spiritual experience they could not put into words. Before people learned to write, they told stories with the image of fungi. In many indigenous traditions, fungi were not food but bridges. In Siberia, Sami and northern tribes used Amanita muscaria, the red and white-spotted mushroom that appears in folktales worldwide, to connect with the spirit realm. These rituals, performed in tents, with drums, breath, rhythm, as inner journeys. They believed souls could leave the body for a moment, viewing the world from a higher vantage. In the Americas, the Mazatec, Zapotec, and Mixtec called fungi flesh of the gods, not out of superstition, but because ritual experiences made participants feel small, connected, and dissolved into the whole. After ceremonies, people described hearing the forest's voice, seeing shapes of prayers, and sensing love as a physical entity. In ancient Greece, some scholars believe Greeks used a consciousness-altering drink, possibly containing fungi, in the Eleusinian mysteries that lasted more than 2,000 years. The rites were so secretive that no participant ever publicly recounted their content, but everyone described the experience as death and rebirth, a truth beyond language, a dream the mind never forgets. Here, fungi stop being mere creatures. They become windows of awareness, as the narrator emphasizes. When humans had no telescopes to see the universe, they used fungi like telescopes to see themselves. No one knows when fungi became linked to enchantment, but in fairy tales, fairy houses, goblin roofs, Snow White's resting place, all are red, white-spotted mushrooms, as if humans always regarded fungi as a boundary between the real world and the dream world, science and the mysterious, the seen and the felt. In East Asian cultures, reishi is a symbol of longevity, wisdom, and elegance. Ancient Chinese and Japanese architecture often mimics mushroom curves, a reminder of harmony with nature. In Renaissance European paintings, artists discreetly inserted fungi as symbols of rebirth or sacred mystery. In modern art, fungi become symbols of imagination, dreaming, the inner world, and the connection between the human unconscious and nature. For thousands of years, fungi have represented an ineffable part of the human soul. In China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and many cultures, fungi were used to restore health, treat chronic illness, increase lifespan, and balance bodily energy. Species such as reishi, lingzhi, chaga, maitake, shiitake, cordyceps are seen as herbs of sustainable life, not mere folk fantasy, because fungi contain beta-glucans, strong antioxidants, immune regulators, and compounds that help cells self-repair. A strange parallel. In the forest's darkness, fungi heal the soil. In the body's darkness, they heal humans. Nature knows how to heal. Fungi are only the guiding hand. No organism expresses reincarnation more clearly than fungi. They eat death-fallen leaves, dead trunks, animal carcasses, then turn them into new life. Material for soil, food for trees, energy for the forest. Many cultures view fungi as symbols of cycles, transformation, and nature's intelligence. In Mexico, fungi are threads between the living and ancestors. In Siberia, they symbolize spirits dwelling between worlds. In East Asia, reishi symbolizes a gate to immortality. This is not only sacred, it's biological fact. Fungi are pillars of the life-death rebirth cycle on the planet. If the forest is the heart, fungi are the circulatory system. If soil is memory, fungi are the writers. No fungi, no death, and no death, no life. Fungi appear in rituals, paintings, symbols, not because they're strange, but because they are closer to the human heart than we think. A small moment of silence, like light through a forest gap. If art shows fungi in the soul, science will show fungi in the future. What we just heard is the past. Ahead lies the chapter where fungi are solutions for tomorrow, building, recycling, healing the planet. If fungi in rituals are windows into the spirit, then fungi in nature are windows into the universe's imagination. No wind needed, no insects, no external influence. Fungi propel spores with a tiny but precise force, so that within a few millionths of a second, spores are launched with acceleration, almost like the speed of a tiny bullet. The moment is too fast for the human eye, but under high-speed cameras, it appears as a tiny explosion of light, a star sparkling in the damp forest, a biological fireworks show occurring in silence. No one would expect that within a moist, soft fungal body, there exists a micromechanical system, astonishingly complex. The fungus creates a tiny water droplet, fuses it with spores, and uses surface energy to launch them, a natural microengineering feat that even human-made micro-robots haven't replicated. Life doesn't need noise to be miraculous. It only needs 1 second in the dark. Hell, after that micro-fireworks scene, the story moves to another fungal mystery. They may possess 20,000 sexes, not 2, not 5, not 100, but 20,000. This doesn't mean fungi are socially or biologically more complex than humans. It means fungi invented such smart genetic exchange strategies that almost no mating mistake happens. Genetic diversity is maintained extremely high, and species avoid evolutionary dead ends. In the forest, any 2 fungal individuals that meet are almost certainly compatible to recombine, a mechanism so effective biologists describe it as a mating system nature created to ensure the beauty of diversity. It isn't gender in the human sense, no male or female, no social behavior, but it shows us life is not constrained by the concepts we know. The world does not have only 2 ways to exist. Fungi are a gentle reminder of that. If you think the planet's fastest creatures are cheetahs, sailfish, or diving hawks, fungi will astonish you. Some fungi use a snap mechanism to launch spores with accelerations over 10,000 g in number no large organism could endure. The speed is faster than the reflex of the eye, making motion invisible to humans. Under scientific lenses, fungi bend their bodies like a bow, store energy in tissues, then release it in a snap. That's how they send life far from where they grow, finding new lands. In the damp darkness of deep forests, fungi become movement artists, fast, precise, and silent as breath. No other kingdom on Earth is as morphologically diverse as fungi. Fungi are not merely mushroom-shaped. They can be anything the imagination can reach. Coral, like branches, filaments like a submerged flower garden, species that glow green at night like stars fallen into the ground, birds' nest like mushrooms containing small eggs, spore packets nestled in water-filled nests, a nature-made installation art, finger-like clusters resembling hands rising from the earth, beautiful, yet eerily dreamlike. Veil, capped, veiled lady, mushrooms, unfurling like lace skirts, soft and mysterious. Coprinus that liquefy into black ink when old, a strange process, as if the fungus writes its final story onto the soil. No organism is so richly varied. No kingdom blends art, strategy, and chemistry so surreal. Each fungal form is an answer to the question, how to live in an ever-changing world. As the world of shifting shapes draws to a close, the narrator grows even slower, nearly like a breeze brushing old moss. Fungi are not only beautiful for our gaze, they are beautiful because they are nature's intelligence, written in form rather than words. And in that silence, fungi hold another role. They are keys to healing the planet, mending soil, water, and even humans. Fungi's beauty is only part of the story. What makes fungi grand is not how they look, but how they keep Earth alive. If you've walked through an autumn forest where leaf litter touches soil, where rot softens the ground, where fallen trunks turn to humus, you witness an invisible miracle people rarely notice. Fungi are the only force on Earth able to decompose almost everything: trees, leaves, roots, bark, animal bones, whale carcasses on the ocean floor, even stubborn compounds like lignin. What makes wood so durable that nearly no organism breaks it are unlocked by fungi. The narrator's voice drifts like the damp scent of soil. Without fungi, forests would pile dead wood for millions of years. Life would suffocate beneath its own ruins. Fungi do not only decompose, they regenerate. Every locked carbon atom, nitrogen, mineral embedded in woody tissue is returned to the soil, to roots, to waterways. Where the eye sees rot, fungi see raw material for new life. They are the planet's strongest recycling machines and the foundation necessary for life to continue. With Earth, time is the tool to make everything. But with forests, time only works if someone keeps the beat. Fungi are that metronome. They transform death into soil, soil into forest, forest into ecosystem. Fungi not only decompose, but regulate decomposition speed, like a conductor, slowly leading the symphony of decay. If fungi work too slowly, forests will drown in dead wood. If too fast, soil lacks recovery time. Yet somehow, across hundreds of millions of years, fungi maintain a perfect regulation, an ancient rhythm humans cannot mimic. Fungi are the forest's biological clock. They know when to clean up and when to let the soil rest. Many see fungi only when they fruit as small white or brown umbrellas above ground. But those are the flowers, the advertisements. The real part, the mycelium, is deep underground. And mycelium is where the wonders happen. Fungi feed trees, not romantically, but in absolute biological terms. Fungi pull water towards roots, bring minerals from meters away, unlock nutrients roots cannot access, exchange carbon with trees as mutual trade. Through billions of silk threads, the whole forest becomes one unified body. An old sick tree may send sugars to a new seedling. A water-deprived tree may receive support from a neighbor. The whole forest links and nourishes itself. And the most important, without fungi, forests cannot exist. Not hard to survive, but cannot exist. Fungi are the hidden circulation of the forest. Soil is not just soil. It is the planet's memory, the foundation of life, of food, of ecosystems. But soil is fragile, erodes with water, blows away with wind, degrades by human impact. Where nature cannot repair itself, fungi step in. quietly, and without recognition. Fungi help soil stick. Mycelium works like a natural glue, holding soil particles together. Fungi create soil structure. They create space for air to circulate, for water to infiltrate, for roots to grow. Fungi lock carbon underground for long periods. This matters not only for forests but for global climate. Fungi are Earth's largest carbon barriers, silently drawing carbon into the soil and locking it for decades, centuries, even millennia. When you look at soil, you are seeing millions of years of fungal threads at work. After a major disaster, fungi always return first. When fires burn forests, when volcanoes erupt, when land is exposed, when wastelands become barren, fungi do not run away. They grow, push roots into ash, recycle soil, clean toxins, and pave the way for moss, grass, and trees. They are the planet's first rescue team, not noisy, unrecognized. No statues or medals, only quiet work, but work that helps Earth revive after each destructive cycle. Earth cannot heal without fungi, and we, though we see little, live in the embrace of threads spreading beneath our feet. Fungi keep this planet alive, but they also do another thing. They keep us alive. Let me tell you stories of fungi and healing, of body, mind, and human memory. There is one more essential thing fungi do, very quietly but vitally. They create fertile soil, the soft brown matter that cradles every seed, supports every root, and nourishes every forest. If you pick up a handful of soil, rub it between your fingers, inhale deeply its scent, you touch an artwork crafted over hundreds of thousands of years, and most of the credit belongs to fungi. Soil is not mere material beneath our feet. It is a biological library storing decomposed leaves, root residues, minerals from bedrock, microbial remains, trapped carbon, and countless fungal threads woven like fine lace. Soil is the forest's flesh, and fungi are the sculptors. With each falling season, each downed tree, each decaying canopy, fungi silently do their work separate, dismantle, recycle, then recombine into new structures. A dry leaf falls. The sound is so slight almost no one hears. But beneath a thin layer, thousands of fungal threads immediately sense its presence. Fungi read the leaf with enzymes, chemical keys few organisms possess. Lignin breaks down. Cellulose is broken into sugars. Minerals are separated from leaf structure. Carbon is sequestered into soil or sent to roots. Each time, soil becomes a bit richer, a bit more fertile, a bit more complex. You may think soil is simple, but in every handful weighing a few grams there may be millions of pieces of organic matter from the past. Countless molecules fungi are restructuring, and the forest stories rewritten in the language of decay. Fungi make death never wasteful. Every ending becomes material for a new beginning. Imagine viewing Earth through fungi's eyes. Soil is not dead ground, but a living, breathing, changing body every minute. Mycelial threads are so thin they are invisible to the naked eye, yet long and wide enough to cover a whole forest. They act like delicate chefs, mixing soil, kneading, loosening, creating stable structure, opening paths for microbes and roots to reside, forming capillaries for water and gas flow. Without fungi, soil would be dense, sticky, choked like thick mud. No air channels, no water pathways, no habitat for microbes. But mycelium turns soil into a porous network, helping roots penetrate, helping water infiltrate, oxygen reach deep, and life take root from the dark. Mycelium does not just make soil, it makes space for life to prosper. Not only making physical soil, fungi create healthy soil. Beneath the ground, billions of bacteria constantly compete. Without regulation, soil becomes an unorganized battlefield, a chemical chaos. Fungi produce antibiotics, bacterial inhibitors, molecules protecting plants from other fungal pathogens, compounds balancing the microbial community. That is why wild forests are less diseased than farmland. Pristine soils richer in diversity than cultivated soils. Natural ecosystems so stable they seem almost immortal. Fungi are the soil's doctors. They heal not with scalpels, but with tiny molecules, soothing microbial wars. A beautiful truth like poetry. Fungi eat rock. They secrete enzymes and organic acids that dissolve minerals in rock, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and many trace elements. They do what rain and wind alone cannot do quickly. And when rock is softened by fungi, soil is born. That is why ancient primeval forests, especially rainforests like the Amazon, always have deep, rich soils that are hard to rival. And for that reason, fungi are the organisms that turn rock into life. The image appears in the listener's mind like an ancient miracle. A mindless rock, through time and fungi's persistence, becomes a germination spot for flowers, a home for roots, soil the softest, most vital material for life. In the era of climate change, every organism on the planet plays a role, but fungi's role is larger than most know. They are the most stable carbon reservoirs in nature. When leaves fall, roots die, trunks rot, fungi decompose, retain carbon, locking it into the soil instead of releasing it into the atmosphere as CO2. Many studies show nearly 70% of forest carbon is retained thanks to fungi. Soil fungi create stable compounds that last hundreds of years. And the most beautiful part, fungi hold carbon not out of duty, but because it is part of the natural life cycle. Fungi keep Earth cool by means of their quietest work. And all these accumulate into one truth. Without fungi, Earth would become a vast graveyard of leaf litter, dead wood and corpses. No new soil, no nutrients, no regeneration. Forests would gradually vanish. Soil would turn barren. Ecosystems would collapse. Climate would destabilize. Rivers would dry. Food webs would break. And finally, life as we know it would cease to exist. Soil material we take for granted is actually the outcome of billions of chemical reactions, billions of falling seasons, billions of fungal threads weaving life from below. And this is only a small slice of fungi's role on this planet, because the life you see above ground is only the surface of an ancient network, breathing beneath our feet every day. Now we will move on to the next chapter, where fungi not only produce soil, but also produce healing for humans. Soil is only the beginning. What truly keeps forests alive is something deeper, a silent, complex, tangled network like the mind of the universe. Wood Wide Web. 3 simple words, but one of ecology's greatest discoveries. Beneath every forest, every square meter of soil, under every human step unnoticed, billions of fungal threads connect to thousands of tree roots. No tree stands alone. No root is solitary. All linked by mycorrhizal networks, an unseen network that keeps forests alive through centuries, through droughts, floods, fires, and long winters. Mycelium is not just fungal threads. It is a nervous system, a circulatory system, an information pipeline, a communication network, a nutrient transport system, a library of the forest's memory. It is the brain beneath the soil. A forest is not a collection of many trees. A forest is one organism, and the wood wide web is its mind. In every forest, there are always ancient trees, enormous, with roots diving tens of meters, living so long they become keepers of the forest's memory. These trees are called mother trees. Mother trees send carbon to seedlings, share water in droughts, warn of danger, distribute nutrients according to each tree's needs, maintain forest diversity, help seedlings survive in the dark. A seedling, only weeks old, is not independent. It lives thanks to mother trees until it is strong enough to rise. Fungi are the bridge. Mycelium is the umbilical cord. And every exchange, carbon, minerals, electrical signals, occurs in silence, in darkness, in a world no one sees. Mother trees do not only shelter with their crowns, but with fungal threads under the ground like a mother's hand on a child's back. In the wood wide web, trees do not compete as we imagine. They share more than they fight. Healthy trees support weak ones. Trees with sunlight share with shaded trees. Old trees pass nutrients to young ones before dying. When a tree is eaten by pests, it sends warning signals so nearby trees produce bitter chemicals. A forest is not a battlefield. It is more like a nurturing community where life thrives through cooperation, not competition. Fungi are the infrastructure. Trees are the residents. The forest is the city, a city of light, water, and exchange, and everything happens in perfect silence. Fungi not only transport water and sugars, they transmit electrical signals like animal nervous systems. When a tree is attacked, electrical signals travel through mycelium, spreading like waves in the soil, alerting each tree. Although slower than neurons, their spread outpaces any biological network. Fungi become the forest's communication system, enabling hundreds, thousands of trees to respond as one. In the dark, fungi talk with electricity, and the forest listens with its roots. The wood wide web's wonder is not connectivity but transferring environmental memory. When a forest experiences a severe drought season, a year of pest outbreaks, a period of poor soil, mycelium records that information in enzyme structures and biological signals. The next tree generation, even the one after, knows how to withstand similar conditions thanks to mycelium's history. That is why primeval forests are more resilient than planted forests. The older the ecosystem, the deeper the memory. Forests have memory, and fungi store that memory. Trees only establish footholds when fungi help them extract minerals from rock. Since ancient times before forests existed, fungi partnered with primitive plants to exchange. Plants gave fungi sugars. Fungi gave plants minerals. This cooperation, mycorrhizae, is the foundation of all land ecosystems. Without fungi, plants could not come ashore. Forests would not form. Oxygen would not rise. Climate would not stabilize. Terrestrial life could not explode. Fungi and plants have been hand in hand for 450 million years, a relationship longer than any human civilization. The wood wide web is not a mere scientific concept. It is a symbol of nature's connectivity. In the forest, no one is completely alone, no one lives without affecting another, and no tree stands alone. The forest lives by exchange, and when we look at that structure, we see reflections of ourselves. Neuronal networks in brains, blood vessels in bodies, human relationships, emotions we give and receive. The forest resembles us more than we ever knew. Trees hold each other with fungi, and humans hold each other with affection. And from that underground network, we will be led to even more wondrous things. Because fungi do not only connect the forest, they also connect humans by healing, nourishing, and altering our minds. Fungi do not merely keep forests alive. They nourish everything that touches them: trees, soil, and even us. Most plants on Earth, from the earliest mosses to primeval forests, to rice, maize, wheat, live thanks to fungi. Fungi help plants absorb minerals from rock, take water from tiny crevices roots cannot reach, convert hard to deist nitrogen into usable forms, share resources according to need, increase tolerance to drought, disease, cold, hold soil so trees do not collapse, send warnings when danger is near. Trees give fungi sugars, and fungi return a supporting underground world. It is a relationship with no overlord, no complete dependency, but a gentle symbiosis across hundreds of millions of years. When you see a green forest, you see fungi's work. Every leaf you breathe was raised by fungi from the dark. Fungi are architects of soil. They decompose leaves, wood, branches, dead trunks, animal carcasses, even rock. Without fungi, Earth would be buried under kilometers of dead trees. Without them, carbon would remain trapped in rotting wood and not become nourishment for future generations. Without them, soil would be impoverished and infertile. Fungi break complex molecules, convert lignin, one of the planet's most durable materials, into fertile soil. Fungi create humus, the dark, nutrient-rich layer agriculture depends on. They sculpt soil like ancient sculptors, loosen soil, retain water, create root pathways, lock carbon in soil for centuries. In silence, fungi do what no machine can imitate. They turn death into life. From above, a forest shows broad canopies, sunlight filtering through, wind blowing from treetop to treetop. But real life is below. It is where fungi tirelessly work. Fungi keep forests by, redistributing nutrients, feeding young trees, forest milk, rescuing sick trees with support from healthy ones, creating biological barriers against pests, locking water in soil so forests do not exhaust, maintaining biodiversity by balanced networks. A forest stands only when its mycelium lives. Burned forest fungi grow first to remake soil. Cut forest fungi hold water flow so new trees can grow. Ancient forest fungi remember history to help the next generation not repeat mistakes. Fungi do not need light, do not make noise, do not have color, yet are the foundation of every forest on the planet. Fungi nurture forests, and forests nurture the world. What few recall. Not only trees depend on fungi, animals, including us, do too. In every step we take, in every breath we breathe, in every bite we eat, fungal shadows are there. They ferment food, bread, wine, cheese, soy sauce, chocolate, vinegar, kombucha. They produce drugs, penicillin, cyclosporine, anti-rejection, statins, cholesterol-lowering, anti-cancer agents. They heal soil for agriculture, decomposing fertilizers, treating toxins, regenerating barren land. They live in our guts, balancing digestion, supporting immunity. They create flavor. Umami, the deepest savory taste from glutamate many natural fungi contain. Without fungi, not only forests but agriculture, medicine, food, every civilization would collapse. Fungi keep ecosystems balanced in subtle ways. They determine decomposition speed, decide soil quality, decide whether carbon stays or returns to the atmosphere, decide where water goes and stops, decide which trees live, which die, decide the forest's diversity. Fungi are intermediaries of all energy flows, from sun, through leaves, into soil, then back to the air. No fungi, no cycles, no cycles, no life. Fungi are both the beginning and end of cycles. They are the ecosystem's blood, the planet's breath. The most beautiful thing about fungi is not just their biological role, but the silent message beneath their humble form. Fungi do not require light to be powerful. They rise from death to feed life. They don't make noise, yet create life at scale. They hide to support the surface. They do not compete, but cooperate with all they touch. And when we observe how fungi exist, we learn a gentle truth. Some of the world's greatest powers come from the humblest things. And because fungi feed trees, soil, forests, and humans, they also nourish subtler things: memory, spirit, art, and humanity's oldest stories. If you wish, we will continue. For the fungal kingdom is not only science, but a living myth whispering beneath every step. But fungi do not only nurture life, they also keep Earth breathing. Carbon is not merely emissions, it is the structure of every cell, the backbone of DNA, the foundation of proteins, stored energy, the Earth's chemical life, the breath of trees, the movement of water, soil formation, and even climate's pulse, all tied by carbon. And in that cycle, fungi are central. Without fungi, carbon would not return to soil. If carbon did not return to soil, climate would be chaotic. If climate were chaotic, life would lose its rhythm. Carbon is like a recurring note in the planet's symphony. Fungi are the conductor of that orchestra. When a leaf falls, a branch breaks, or a tree collapses, carbon within them remains locked in wood and cellulose, very durable substances. Not many bacteria or insects can break them. Only white rot and brown rot fungi have enzymes powerful enough to break lignin wood's rock-like material. This is one of evolution's greatest achievements. When fungi decompose wood, carbon is released back into the soil. Some becomes nutrients for new trees. Some is sequestered in deep soil. Some cycles back to the atmosphere in a natural rhythm, helping the planet keep climate balance. Without fungi, carbon would remain trapped in dead forests for tens of millions of years. No decomposition, no regeneration. No regeneration. Forests cannot grow. Trees not growing. Climate wildly fluctuates. Fungi do not only decompose to clean up, they decompose to regulate the world. What few know, mycelium not only breaks carbon, but keeps it in the soil, where it can stay for centuries. They form stable compounds called glomalin and humus natural carbon warehouses, retaining carbon, preventing it from escaping to the atmosphere, stabilizing climate, nourishing fertile soil. Glomalin accounts for more than a third of soil carbon. Thus, the stable climate of Earth depends on a mysterious protein secreted by fungi. A miracle. A handful of the dark soil you hold may contain carbon fungi, have stored since ancient times, as solemn as the planet's memory. Every forest, every grassland, every prairie breathes steadily because of the soil carbon fungi maintain. Trees absorb atmospheric CO2, but trees cannot survive without fungi. Mycorrhizae symbiotic fungi help roots uptake water, minerals, nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus. The healthier the tree, the more it photosynthesizes, the more CO2 it pulls from the atmosphere. When fungi and trees connect like blood vessels, a forest becomes a climate regulator. Thanks to fungi, forests absorb up to 30% of human annual CO2 emissions. That is why forests can recover after fires, why rainforests stabilize climate, and why we have a breathable atmosphere. When a forest burns, carbon blasts into the sky in an instant. But then, from ash, fungi appear first. Fire, resistant fungi, charcoal, eating fungi, soil, opening fungi, fungi that recruit beneficial bacteria. They are nature's first response team. Fungi pull carbon from the ashes back into the soil, lock it there, feed new trees, and restart the carbon cycle. Exhale is fire, inhale is fungi, life continues. Climate stability is not created from the sky, but by things happening beneath the thin soil layer we step on every day. Fungi participate in every facet of the climate system, reducing atmospheric carbon, sequestering carbon in soil, helping trees pull carbon, recycling carbon from dead organisms, recovering after disasters, stabilizing soil microbiomes, creating soil structures that resist erosion, regulating water flow, impacting microclimates. Earth's climate is created not only by wind or the sun, but by billions of tiny fungal threads weaving together in silence. Oh, if fungi disappeared overnight, forests would stop growing, seedlings would die from nutrient lack, soil would become poor and dry, leaves and wood would stop decomposing, carbon trapped in dead forests, climate wildly unstable, CO2 skyrocketing, ecosystems collapse, and life as we know it would end. Fungi are like the planet's second lungs, and no one realizes it. Understanding how fungi store carbon, we begin to view life differently. No death, no new life, no decomposition, no regeneration, no darkness, no cycle, no silence, no greatness. Fungi choose to be underground because that position allows them to support the whole planet. In the dark, they do what trees, animals, and humans cannot do. By embracing death, fungi ensure life continues. That is nature's deepest philosophy. And after understanding how fungi stabilize climate, we recognize another thing. Their role is not only scientific, but also cultural, spiritual, artistic, and the memory of humanity. If you wish, we will step into the next section where fungi not only feed the planet, but also feed the human imagination and soul across 10,000 years. Beneath our feet, the mycelial network still quietly beats, neither fast nor slow, like an ancient heart balancing the planet. Those fine fungal threads, thinner than human hair, carry the ability to embrace carbon, nourish trees, regulate forests, keep climate breathing. They do everything by quiet presence. Above, tiny spore grains drift through the dim light of night, light as stardust, like nature's lullaby. And in the darkest corners of the forest, a few fungal species glow not brilliantly, not glaringly, with a soft green light, like the forest's soul smiling. A silent world, a beauty revealed only to those who stop and listen. The world is quieter than we think, more wondrous than we know, and always waiting for us to see. Wishing you a peaceful night, light as the mycelium whispering beneath the forest floor.